Well, hello, free people of the Rocky Mountain region. This is Brandon from Free State, Colorado. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great day. I really wanted to make sure you saw this news story because it perfectly exemplifies why we cannot trust the government, why politicians lie, and how the government exists to serve its own interests, oftentimes at the expense of the people. So, this article was recently published here at the denvergazette.com. Colorado authorities had known about Venezuelan gangs' tentacles in Aurora and Denver since 2023. Articles from February 14th, 2025. Now, I'm sure a lot of you watching this are not surprised that our state and local governments knew about this gang issue, knew there were some serious problems, and they covered it up. And maybe that's too strong of a phrase, but I don't think so. They definitely did not want the public to know about this major issue. They did not want the public to understand that Colorado sanctuary state policies, Denver sanctuary city policies, were putting people's lives at risk. That some of the massive spikes in crime we've seen in recent years could be attributed to some of these loose immigration policies because it totally destroys the democratic narrative that these open border policies are best for our communities. And it's really unfortunate, folks. So let's take a look here at the article. There's the Aurora Police Chief there. An investigation by a national group into the city of Aurora's handling of a Venezuelan prison gang reveals that authorities at all levels of government were in fact aware of Tren de Arugua's criminal activities long before city officials acknowledged their presence. Wow. And the group said it also found that those activities extended beyond Aurora and into the Denver metro area. Last year, America First Legal launched an investigation into the growing national threat from the Venezuelan criminal gang known as TDA through public record requests in three cities, Aurora, Chicago, and Prairie du Chien in Wisconsin, to learn when they penetrated the U.S. Authorities said TDA gang members have been involved in a myriad of criminal activities that include drug trafficking, kidnapping, money laundering, extortion, and human trafficking, particularly of immigrant women and girls. Yikes. So let's take a look. You can definitely read this article. I'll have all the links at freestatecolorado.com. But this group, America First Legal, actually has a really good X thread, thread on X, that kind of details some of the highlights of this report. So let's look at that. One, breaking. New law enforcement documents reveal that Colorado officials knew the violent Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua posed a real and present danger, but withheld the truth from the public for over a year, shielding criminal illegal aliens and endangering U.S. citizens. Absolutely crazy. And this is from February 13th, 2025, 1.7 million views. So the truth has come out. This information is out there, and it's really criminal on behalf of the governor who was claiming this was our imagination, that this was happening, the Denver mayor and local media who refused to acknowledge the problem and disparaged those people who were calling out the issue. Two, AFL has obtained Aurora Police Department records revealing that officials knew about TDA's presence in violent crimes but failed to disclose it to the public for more than a year until the gang took over an apartment complex, making the threat undeniable. So here's an article from the New York Post back in September of 2024. How Aurora, Colorado became a migrant gang war zone after TDA took over apartment complexes in quiet suburb. Three, the documents show that the nonprofit organization Papagayo placed Venezuelan illegal aliens in the Aurora apartments that TDA later took over, terrorizing residents with shootings, stabbings, and extortion. Now, this is a group I've highlighted before. There's definitely a video back from last year with Jessica Fensky where we talked about this group among others. But of course, Papagayo here is receiving some taxpayer money, if I remember correctly, to help out with this immigration problem. And of course, they're putting these Venezuelan illegal immigrants into these apartments that later were taken over. Definitely a connection there that needs to be investigated a little bit further. Four, in August 2024, viral surveillance footage showed TDA gang members violently taking over an Aurora apartment complex, forcing local officials to acknowledge the gang's presence. Now, of course, this was video footage from Cindy Romero, a very brave woman who lived at this apartment for many, many years, was forced basically to flee, and she was not afraid to tell her story. Really appreciate her sharing these videos, trying to get it out there to the news media, letting people know what was happening in her once quiet home, this apartment that she lived in for years. And it's undeniable at this point. The video footage proved it and totally changed the narrative. Huge shift. Check out that video where I talk to her about all of this and she shares her story. I'll have it in the links there. Despite overwhelming evidence, state and local officials continue to downplay or outright dismiss the gang's presence, allowing crime to spiral out of control. Wow, police deny Venezuela gang has taken over rundown apartment complex in Denver suburb. Yep, we all remember those headlines. 6. Just weeks after President Trump took office, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, arrested TDA's ringleader responsible for terrorizing the Aurora apartment complex, finding him in New York. There's a New York Post article there. 7. Last week, ICE, with support from the DEA, FBI, U.S. Marshals, and Customs and Border Protection, conducted raids across Aurora targeting 100 TDA gang members. Yeah, we remember that. They were out there in force. They've been watching these criminals for a long time. Federal law enforcement knew that this was a serious issue, and unfortunately our local representatives, our local government did not want to admit it. 8. But the internal records AFL uncovered show Colorado officials had known for over a year that TDA-linked Venezuelan criminals were operating in Aurora apartment complexes, yet failed to act. So here's an email from February 2024. State.co.us, Aurora Gov, Lakewood CO, Englewood, and Cherry Hills Village. You can see who got these emails saying, reply, Venezuelan stealing and selling stolen vehicles and using fake plates. 9. An APD email. Oh, let's get back up there. 9. An APD email from February 5th, 2024 states that 2 apartment complexes were currently having Venezuelan refugees placed there, and we have had multiple violent cases involving those addresses with Venezuelan suspects since about June of 2023. So this is June 2023, folks. If they would have been serious about stopping this issue back then, we wouldn't have had the major problems we have seen. The APD crime analyst also noted it's difficult to ID people who have no history in the U.S. yet. So you can see that email there. They're admitting it. It's been going on since June of 2023 at these apartments. Whispering Pines, Fitzsimmons Apartments. I'm sure the edge at Lowry's in there. 10. According to APD, the Papagayo Foundation placed the Venezuelan refugees in these properties, most likely leading to possible TDA members moving to Aurora, according to Homeland Security. Wow. So there you go. You can see the property managers here, the Papagayo Foundation locations. This is all Aurora government emails. The properties they manage, there you go, Oak Ridge, Bahamas, Edge of Lowry, there it is, Whispering Pines. They're all owned by CBZ Management. And then you have Gnome Partners, which handles the legal. They have allowed CEO Marlena Suarez of Papagayo Foundation to place Venezuelan refugees in these properties, most likely leading to possible TDA members moving to Aurora. There is currently a nuisance for Nome Street, and the city is talking with their lawyers and have arranged an agreement to provide immediate assistance to APD for cameras and entry. Last I was told on last Thursday from Charlie Keys, this arrangement is not signed off on, and they're still conversing about it. Wow. 11. Aurora borders Denver, which openly supports sanctuary city policies. Mike Johnston, oh gosh, Denver's mayor compared President Trump's deportation plans to a Tiananmen Square moment and released a detailed plan outlining Denver's non-detainer policy and threatening legal action against ICE. Yep, that's who the Denver mayor and our governor are protecting. 12. Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman blamed Denver Mayor Mike Johnston for using federal funds from Biden's the ARPA, the American Rescue Plan Act, to contract with nonprofits like Papagayo to move migrants from Denver into housing located in Aurora apartments, such as the now infamous Edge of Lowry apartments featured in the viral TDA takeover video. At another CBZ management apartment, APD recorded that police service calls nearly doubled from 2022 to 2023 and again between 2023 and 2024. 41 calls in 2022, 84 calls in 2023. First half of 24, 66 calls. Crimes included various motor vehicle crimes, robbery, drugs, trespass, sexual assault, aggravated assault, a shooting that injured 2 people. Of course, this is what Cindy Romero was trying to get out there to the people, trying to get to the media, because the city of Aurora was not helping with this issue with this situation. 14. Instead of cracking down on TDA and the criminal activity, Aurora officials condemned the property in August 2024 for code violations and evicted over 100 residents. Earlier this month, Aurora officials designated the edge at Lowry as a criminal nuisance and announced it would be closed. Now, what's interesting, talking to Cindy, who was living there for many years, if this wouldn't have happened, if CBZ did not allow Papagayo to place these Venezuelan illegal aliens there, or if the city of Aurora was serious about protecting the community and tried to get a hold on this when it first started happening, those residents would not have been evicted. It's my personal thought. Those residents would still be living there. There'd still be apartments there. People would not have had to have fled and suffered as a result of this. So definitely something to keep in mind. An internal APD report, so that's Aurora Police Department, detailing criminal incidents at CBZ management apartments included assault on a property manager, armed man allegedly en route to kill a property manager, a stabbing incident, gun related incidents, resident scams, TDA extorting residents for 50% of their rent. Yikes. I mean, it's crazy, people. It's crazy what's been going on there and how they just wanted to cover it up and not let people know. 16. TDA's criminal activities expanded beyond Aurora as early as January 2024, with state and local law enforcement identifying a developing trend of Venezuelans stealing and selling stolen vehicles and using fake plates. In one report, 2 Venezuelans stole a vehicle in Lakewood and tried to sell it in Aurora. The Metro Area Task Force also circulated a bulletin about Venezuelan prison gang activity in Colorado. You can read those if you'd like. 17 there. APD contacted Homeland Security to help identify suspects connected to shootings believed to be Venezuelans. While APD was unable to confirm with 100% certainty that the suspects were TDA gang members, their clothing and tattoos were consistent with Homeland Security's descriptions of the TDA gang members they encountered at the border. The clothing and tattoo descriptions also match those previously uncovered in the sanctuary city of Chicago, Illinois. You can see them there. So keep an eye out for any of those tattoos specifically, it looks like. Since late 2022, at least, oh, there we go. Since late 2022, at least 43,000 illegal immigrants flooded into the Denver metro area, costing an estimated $80 million, not counting healthcare and education related expenses. So, of course, Jared Polis doesn't want to admit it. These people do not want to let their agenda be undermined. And it's so unfortunate. So many people have suffered. You can definitely see all of these details. I'll include a link here to afllegal.org, the organization that got these files out, who found these documents and are publicizing it. America First Legal releases documents revealing Colorado officials' downplayed threat posed by violent Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, shielding dangerous criminals and endangering U.S. citizens. I mean, folks, this is major. This is something our local news media should have been on top of. It's something that our local governments should have been focusing on. It's absolutely outrageous. It's criminal. It's beyond negligence. They don't want people to know what's actually happening if it's contrary to the interests of this political class. So people, do not trust the politicians, do not trust the government, do not trust the media. They do not have your best interests at heart. Understand that they are serving themselves, not the people. And let's try and keep getting this information out there. Really appreciate you joining me this week. We'll be talking to you again soon. Have a lot great more videos coming out soon. So appreciate you. Take care.